Very warm good evening. This is Arunava Chaudhuri. You are live on my YouTube channel. It's another Indian football and more discussion on the channel. And the ISL countdown is we are match day -3, or rather, should we say 2.5, because we are less than 3 days away from the kickoff of the 2025-2026 Indian Super League season. And there's still a lot of things going on in regard to the ISL and other things in Indian football, and we will certainly come to speak about it. But at the start of this live, as I like to do, is if you like what we talk about here and like the discussion, please leave a like behind, share it with other people to join, and yeah, if you haven't, do subscribe to the channel, help us grow the community. At the moment, as I start the show, we stand at 3,744. And yeah, help me continue to grow the community, that more and more people get to know what is, according to me at least, the realities of Indian football. What are the issues? What are the talking points? And also at the start, I want to remind you, as Renal is asking, second part coming out, did an interview with Sandeep Menon, the journalist and author. And in the first part, we speak about Sacred Games, the book that Sandeep has done. Watch it, support it. And then there is a second part, which I might do tomorrow or might do on Friday. I'm not sure. In the next 2-3 days, I'll release it, where we talk about the status of Indian football, the issues in Indian football. And I guess Sandeep and I could have gone on, I don't know for how many hours in that discussion, but again, I enjoyed myself and he enjoyed it. But again, please give us the views, do support, do like, do share, because again, yeah, it deserves it. Sandeep has written a really, really lovely book. Hi, Kumar. This AIFF and Mexico member who arranged meeting to discuss cerebral inclusion as has any brain left in the body. Kumar, again, maybe you can answer this question yourself. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think the AIFF EXCO members called for it. The question is, why does the AIFF do this? And I don't have an explanation. Nobody else has an explanation. And yeah, it's I mean, the danger is why I said a few weeks ago, I always said there is a 1% chance of the ISL happening, and I've not said that 1% chance, right, for a long time, and hope that we were past all of these issues and problems. As if I see what is happening, there have been again good movements. Mumbai City, if you've maybe seen today's videos of the Mumbai Football Arena, the ground looks okay given what it looked like a few days ago. Chennai FC today said that they had sorted their things out with the Sports Authority of Tamil Nadu as well as the government. So that is a good thing. But this whole Churchill Brothers thing is very, very dangerous in my opinion, because there are two sides to the story. One side is, of course, Churchill Brothers requesting the thing, which I think it's contempt of CAS if they have even considered doing this. That's the one thing. So, who could, would, should be taking the AIFF to CAS on that matter. And the second part is that Churchill Brothers did not win the I-League, right? As per what has been said. So therefore, for me, that is the dangerous one. And Churchill Brothers trying to fight this out. My question is, what are the criteria of playing in the ISL? What is the criteria playing I-League these days? It seems to be a free-for-all. I think, do rules care? Does anybody care? It's just, you bully your way in. I could tomorrow create a, um, uh, create a club, bully my way into the top and say, listen, I'll stay. So Kumar, to me, it makes no sense, but it's a very, very, very dangerous precedent that is being set at the moment. And I hope the AIFF rectifies itself and sorts things out, because this is something which I find very dangerous at the moment, given the realities of what we are. Now, 13 ISL clubs rejected this meeting on Church was only except Mohammed Sporting, who said they're okay. I don't know if Mohammed Sporting said okay or they didn't have the time to sign it. Again, a lot of rumors. So therefore, yeah. Again, does this letter count? My simple question to the ISL clubs is, does this letter count? Have you done enough to push things in the right direction? Or is the AIFF playing around with you? Right? So again, it doesn't count for me, and that's the problem that we are in. Let's wait and see what they can do. That's portfolio production doing amazing work. I didn't know we have this much football culture in pockets. General, they've done it. Read again if you can get your hands on the book that Sandeep has written. I think it's very interesting where he speaks about sevens in Kerala. He speaks about Cape football in Bengal, about the Basti football in Meghalaya, other things in regard to Manipur, Mizoram. Very interesting. So therefore, these people are trying to showcase what exists, or even some of the stuff that they've been able to find out by chance. I mean, I did an interview with Arjun and Johnson on my channel. Watch that. So therefore, yeah, very, very interesting to see. Kochi Stadium looks decent. Saw it. The turf looks pretty good. Then looking pretty good and being good is a different thing, because you can make it look nice and green on a photo, but is it really good or not? We will only recognize once the Blasters host a home game, but it is good. I think. I spoke with Abik a while back, did an interview with Abik Chatterjee on this channel. I'm seeing it's 10 days ago. And Abik had hinted at certain things, and today he said it at the press conference. So why are people surprised that coming to speak about that the Kerala Blasters might have been very, very close to a shutdown? That's to me is like, yeah, those are risks given the realities of how things have been going on in the last few weeks and months. And therefore, for me, I don't know. I honestly don't know where we are heading at the moment. Changing syllabus. India needs a general project in football like Vaibhav Suryavanshi scored 175 OVT balls, and India beat England under 19 in the finals to win World Cup U19 for sixth time. Just 15-year-old. India needs a Vaibhav Suryavanshi prodigy in football to get noticed. Hidesh, you know what? I think a 50-year-old prodigy in this and that and everything in football is much more difficult than a sport like cricket, right? And um, I would be happy if I even get an 18 or 20-year-old Indian prodigy coming through the system at the moment, right? Do we have that? No, I don't. Therefore, that's my concern. If you ask me, uh, uh, um, you know, um, it's it's um, it's a challenge that we all have with Indian football at this moment in time. So yeah, we'll have to see. What will happen to content of CAS? Will AIFF get banned? No, Kumar, there is no question of ban. It is CAS can hand out fines and other things. But ban is not a thing, because the problem for the AIFF is contempt of court, right? It is like contempt of court in India. The question is who will implement it. So I it's so yeah, that's the problem. And no, FIFA is not involved in a CAS violation. Um, Someone needs to raise it with the AFF, with FIFA in that way. So I don't see that happening. So let's wait and see. Tata Colorbuster C is charging 2K off-season pass. I think it's a decent price for 9 home games. So the people here want all free. 9 home games? Renal, did I miss something? How are they getting 9 home games? Even if it's six, 2K is decent, right? 2K is for 6 or 7 games is what, 250, 350 rupees. The question is, as you say, this free culture that we have, we see it regularly when people are asking for free links, free this, free that. It's a problem, and therefore for me, it's I don't know, and yeah, it's one of those weird ones, and if people want something, they want quality, but they're not willing to pay for getting to the quality, right? And that is something which, just think about the FIFA World Cup at the moment. Everyone wants to watch the World Cup, right? So far, the World Cup is not sold in the Indian market, right? The World Cup rights. And, you know, so therefore, yeah, it's the way it is, right? It is for me it's the way it is, and we will not sadly be able to change it. That's a reality, and therefore we'll have to wait what happens in the coming weeks and months. As a South Korea football team a bit down, they reached semi-final 2000 World Cup. Hitesh, the problem is you see stats. You think, okay, this is good, this is bad. 2002, to me is very, very difficult to say, because I thought 2002 South Korea was very, very lucky to get to the semi-finals. I think they've had better teams, And so therefore, so therefore for me, no, I think South Korea has improved over the years. But again, improving over the years doesn't mean that you will get the results. So that's another problem. Tomorrow, group U17 men and women. Yes, X9P. Tomorrow is the draw for the under 17 Asian Cups, men's and women's. That will be interesting to see who gets where, who gets whom. We've seen the under 20s getting a very tough draw. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who the boys and the girls get. And yeah, let's wait and see what happens. Now, people want free money. That money should fall from sky from Varuna Dev. Okay, Kumar. Yeah, yeah. Wouldn't you mind? Wouldn't I mind getting money and not having to do anything for it? I think all of us would be happy about it. But the question here is, these are things that need to be paid for. If they're not paid for, then how will the things operate and work? And that is, I think, to me, I mean, we are in a situation that I know that there are players in the system who have signed contracts in the Indian Super League, where where players are not taking money. Right, there are players who are playing this season of the Indian Super League for free. Indian players and even foreigners. There are some Indians and foreigners who are not taking money because they just want to play, right? So therefore, it is again, if this season doesn't get the support, and my big concern is looking at the whole thing, looking at the whole scenario. Um, are we extending? To be very brutal, are we extending the period that the Indian Super League died? Right, the way it's running at the moment, this is, I have not understood why suddenly there's been no appointment in regard to league commissioner who could coordinate from the sides of the clubs. And to me, yeah, it's all it's just one kitchery, right? I mean, you sort something and then we'll have to wait and see. It's like with the I League, that the AIFF committee has now decided, to say what? Okay, end of the story. Delhi FC are relegated. Now, what's the status of Churchill Brothers? Are they an I League club? Are they maybe a future ISL club? Uh, Meaning they might be tomorrow evening an ISL club. What happens if they don't play? Do they get relegated to the I League 2? Then does the request from Sporting Club Bangalore or from Sporting Club de Goa, Sporting Club de Bangalore were second from bottom in the I League. Sporting Club de Goa were third in the I League 2. Do they move in? That's the problem, right? And so therefore, for me, all these things are interlinked, and we are in a very, very, very delicate situation, very, very delicate situation. And therefore, as some people always say, is like, let the games begin. They used to say that in the old Rome. Yeah, but the question is, what is it? I remember I said a few weeks ago to Blue, note how many changes we've had. We've already had changes to the schedule in the sense of that one of the Chennai matches got postponed because they don't think that they'll get the ground ready in mid March. And now, so therefore, early, and now we have Odisha FC's match has also been postponed because they still haven't sorted the Kalinga issue. I've not heard anything about Odisha actually starting their training anywhere. So therefore, there are, again, these are issues which we should not be talking about. And this is where we've come over the last 9 or 10 months. Very sad, very tragic, but that's where we are. And the hope and my wish would be that, once the games start on Saturday, that we talk about the football part of it. But at the moment, as I see this, um, it looks very dangerous. Looks very dangerous, and I'm not sure what's going to happen to us. Right? Very, very honestly. So, problem is quality. If Indian quality of football improves, no one will think of getting free stadium ticket, free match watching, etc. X9P, I don't think so. Because I know that people in certain parts of India, even for cricket matches, want free tickets. It is in the mentality, right? If I can get a free ticket, why should I bother to pay for it? Right. And then there is the other side of that, that it becomes so aspirational. You want to buy a ticket, so ridiculous prices, like watching Messi, right? People are willing to pay 10, 20,000 rupees to just watch Messi from I don't know how many far away meters, right? So therefore, that's your problem. It's not if the quality improves, no. People will not be wanting to pay for tickets. If they don't want to pay tickets now, they will not be wanting to pay tickets later. That's a brutal, sad reality of things. But for me, this is something where we need to get out of this, trot. I don't know how we can get out of this, improve in Indian football. But those are, in my opinion, realities of things, and which makes it very difficult at this moment in time and where we stand. Arunava, Church of Husker, did Kalyan Chaubin secretary involved? Kumar, they are involved because they are allowing it to happen. So in that way, yes. Why? How are they involved? Why are they involved? My question, I would love to ask Satya as a secretary. Uh, uh, you know, if and why are you entertaining this? Why are you not shutting it down? Again, yes, Valanka is part of the exco, this, that, everything. And I know in India always says, oh, you can't be having multiple posts in this and that, which is the most normal thing in the world. I always say Dr. Reinhard Raubal used to be the president of Borussia Dortmund, used to be um, the chairman of the Bundesliga of the DFL, used to be also vice president of the German DFB. And Dr. Raubal always knew when he was looking at affairs of Borussia Dortmund, of the Bundesliga, and of the federation. And that is the only thing that whoever is there, you should always remember at what level you're operating and who are you representing. Basics. We have a lack of understanding of the basics, you know, and yeah, that's where we are. Yes, except Indian think of getting everything free government when India addicted with freebie. Yeah, yeah. Be it government, be it not government, it is, for them, again, I would ask, would you ever go to a cinema hall and ask for a free ticket? Right? Would you ask for a free movie ticket? Would you ask for a free, I don't know, bus ride? Would you not pay for your taxi or your Uber or whatever it is, Ola? So these are the things. So yeah, that's the reality of things, right? What's wrong with Churchill was a stick with I League want to play in ISL without hard work. X9P, they believe that they're on the right, and Churchill brothers always have this feeling, oh, you know what, you have treated us badly. Not a new problem with them. And yeah, to me, the issue here is very, very simple. Do they also feel okay? This is our one, maybe our only chance to get promoted to the ISL? I don't know what's the point. Do they think that it becomes harder and tougher? Is it easier this season, given all the chaos that there is? My question would have been is that, hey, why didn't you initiate all of this 2 months ago, right? When there was no clarity, right? I know that certain people in the AIFF thought, oh, you know what, Odisha FC will not play. Okay, then you guys can come in. All right, that's one of the conversation that seems to have happened. And my simple question, so therefore, it's not. So therefore, that's the thing. And now people ran for tickets for Al Nassr FC. No, they didn't, Kumar. They did not. See, that's the other thing. That's what people will tell you. But how many people turned up for the game? Forget Ronaldo not coming, right? If people ran for the ticket, then the stadium. Even in Mumbai, when Al Hilal came and they said, "Oh, Neymar will come," and then Mumbai shifted its game because they weren't allowed to play at the Mumbai Football Arena. They went to the Balewadi in Pune and then said, "Okay, listen, we're going to play at the DY Patil." They did play at the DY Patil. I don't know if it had 35,000 people turning up for that game, but in the end, what was the effect, Kumar? What was the effect? Supposedly 55 people thousand people were supposed to turn up. So I know that even certain people bought tickets, didn't turn up, but there is not that craze to say, listen, we would have sold out the venues. That's the other reality, right? So therefore, um, it's Ronaldo and Messi is a different level, but yeah, let's see. Another Valanka, yeah, Valanka Alemao, just was the best example. People always have no, Kumar. Exactly, that should not be the case. That's what I tried to just explain. Valanka can represent Churchill Brothers. Valanka theoretically could be part of the Goa Football Association, you know, and she could also be in the exco. She can also be. She's on the women's panel of FIFA and some panel, right? But you need to know what you're representing when and where. That's my only thing, and yeah. So therefore, that's the thing. That's the clarity we need. Why are we as Indian football so selfish? Now, if AFC has set criteria and Australia withdrawn Indian football posting Twitter along with Saudi by to get India slot, why to break rules? Because we love Jugaad, right? We love Jugaad, right? So therefore, for me, my question is, are we ready to do what it needs? Are we really willing to um, you know? So to me, um, my biggest problem is with this whole thing is the Asian Games for Indian football is the most unimportant thing. Almost unimportant. It has no value. It has only created problems, and it creates a problem in the looking back at our history. And anyone fighting for this Asian Games, and we have to play in this, has Dilulu should see a doctor immediately. It makes me angry because only an idiot can say, "Oh, you know what? Asian Games, we need to play that." Right? No, no. Most unimportant tournament because you know what others do? They send under 20s, right? But hey, they got so many people who understand football. No, that's the first problem. Our first problem is we don't even have enough people who understand football, the business of football, the running of football, the coaching of football, the playing of football. Indian football is suffering because there are people across all levels who don't know, yeah, Jack, whatever. And this is what we need to understand. That needs to change, right? Bring in the right people, do the right work at all levels. But no, the stakeholders of Indian football say, oh, it's not my mistake. You know, it is his mistake, her mistake, their mistake. It is not I don't do mistakes. Where is accountability? Where is introspection? All of you, all of us who've worked in football, I don't take myself out of it, have done mistakes. Stand on your mistakes and say, hey, you know what? I've done this wrong. No one does it. Biggest problem. How many Bhartis playing after the Balampi Boliviano in Bolivia Premier League as centre back? He might be called in a camp. He's 27 years. He's been called up for I don't know how many times he's played. I don't know. Again, Abneet, 27, 28 matches in 7 years, right? That's the question, no? Hello, sir. Seeing you after a long of time. Was busy in IMP CLG work. Good to see you, Ayush. Welcome back. Do you personally know any kind of Indian passport holder who can represent on your teams? Yeah, I would know most probably 2 or 3 kids who have Indian passports, but yeah, they would be most probably better, but I don't know how they're going to play. Do you consider they have the got to play for? Yes, they have. Or now that if Odisha did not play in the ISL, then how come Chambers comes in if Odisha come back for next season? What will happen? Where will Churchill go? Kumar, if Odisha don't play, Odisha I think is relegated, right? Isn't that the case? If you don't play, you lose your spot. You can't say this thing, oh, you know what, I'm opting out, next year I'm back. You know? So therefore, that's the problem. That is the problem. No? Where is that clarity? Which path are we going? What are we doing? There's no clarity. We're in utter chaos, free fall. The ISL is set to start on Saturday. On Saturday, February 14th on Valentine's Day. Right? And today is the 11th. It's the evening of the 11th. Less than 3 days to go. So, yeah. Probably Odisha C will be relegated. I'm just saying that will not happen. Even if Churchill plays, they will also get relegated. Arvind, I don't know if they will get relegated, not relegated. Will they stay? Will they not stay? Listen, that's not the question. The question here is what is right, what is wrong. Odisha FC have their place in the Indian Super League. Period. That's their spot. Right? But Churchill Brothers does not want to accept what is The rule-based system in football. The system of committees within India. And what I've always said and will always say, and this is the biggest mistake that most people make in Indian sports, that if you have law of the land, the law of sports stands above it. Meaning, why did Interkashi go to CAS? That is the highest court in regard to decisions of sport, right? You're not accepting it. You even went to Swiss courts to turn around. They said, no, you don't have, there is no point. You've lost. Khatam, finish, tata, bye-bye. And they're still fighting it, and the AIFF allowing this to happen is complicit. This should be a reason to actually impeach the AIFF leadership. But who's going to do it? Right? No. Shame is that content creators who they are supporting it. Shameless, stop this jugaad. We're not going anywhere. Why do we shout about sport versus when we don't understand? Yeah. Ask him that. Ask him or the others, whoever is supporting it. No? Look at who supported it in 23. Another the Constitution has any clause regarding AIFF members should not accept any club or statement. There should not be conflict. No. Kumar, conflict of, again, I say this again. In the pyramid system in sports, you normally hold multiple roles. But whenever you hold a role, you need to know when you're representing your club, when you're representing your state, maybe, when you're maybe representing club, district, state, national, and then international. So this conflict of interest theoretically is always there. That is not the problem. The problem is the integrity of these people. You know. So I'm Indian but can't accept this. This is not what you treat sports. Angry since today morning. Yeah. Shanlata, this is it is, with Jugar, we want to do something and we are not willing to understand is that this Asian Games football for men's is not a tournament which is going to take us forward. Right? So, no. Yeah. Tell him that. India women team is directly qualified for Asian Games because they are in top 12 qualified to AFC Cup, Asian Cup. Yeah, it is. That's what the AFC and the Asian, Olympic Council of Asia have discussed and finalized. Why Chet was not moving on just days before I said why they left so pathetic tantrums. Shanlata, they have been doing tantrums not only in the last few days, they've been doing this for months. And there's nothing happened on that, right? They sat quiet. Interkashi even got a trophy around the Super Cup. There's that everything. And everyone thought, okay, this is done and dusted. Khatam ho gaya. Bye bye. Tata. Gone. Now we are back in the situation like, you know what? We're still there. We're not gone. Right? We were Churchill brothers. We're still there. Actually, we think we're champions of the I League. We should be playing ISL. That's the point, right? And therefore, for me, is very, very dangerous. Very, very dangerous of where we stand at this moment in time with this whole situation. And therefore, for me, we need solutions. And Churchill brothers are not helping, right? They will then tell, we did this, we did that. And this is another problem, right? What you did yesterday or day before, or even 10 years, 15 years, 20 years ago, it doesn't matter. What are you doing today and what are you doing in the future? What will happen to overseas matches? Will they reschedule or they will draw? Hannibal, they're being rescheduled, right? The first match has been rescheduled, most probably for 11 May. Listen, this whole schedule at the moment is a farce. We have elections coming up. We've got this, we've got that, we've got other things. We don't know what's going to happen. That's why I said, I don't know who was here in the chat at the time. I said, jokingly said to someone like Blue, I said, listen, Blue, just mark how many changes are they making to the calendar. You know, and then let's see how many changes they are forced to make. And that is something which, I don't know. Was rescheduling the meeting of a church was necessary? No, Hannibal, they should have turned it down. Forget rescheduling the meeting. Was a meeting regarding Churchill Brothers and ISL and needed at all? You should have said as AIFF, listen, CAS has said Interkashi are champions, Interkashi are promoted. Sorry, guys, we cannot accommodate you. Thank you. Tata, bye bye. Done. Simple letter. Let them take you to court as AIFF. Let Churchill Brothers take you to court and do whatever they want to. Because this needs to be understood. I say this again and again and again. CAS is the final decision maker on sporting decisions. And this is what's not been understood. What's wrong with Indian football? No, they are not withdrawing. They've not sorted out their stuff with the Odisha government. Therefore, they've postponed their first match, and this might go on 1 or 2, and let's see what happens. Today, Abhik Chatterjee in press conference said KBFC owners thought about shutting down this season because of the sheer loss they hit with this season. I don't listen to my interview to Abhik. Abhik hinted at that when we spoke about this. This is, again, why are people surprised? Why are Blasters fans today surprised that Abhik said, you know what, a few weeks ago, we thought about shutting down? Are they the only one who thought about it? No, you're not. Right? They were one of many entities who thought, you know what, maybe we need to reconsider our position. Right? So therefore, this is where we stand. This is a reality. Right? The Blasters have tried to minimize their losses over the last few years, but this season is a massacre for them. The problem is that useless people are running our federation, and those who are capable of doing the job right don't have courage to stand up, don't have the back up support. This loop will continue. Goku, 100%. And also when the right people apply for certain jobs or are approached to apply for certain jobs, they're not taken. That's the other problem, right? So again, I have an interesting story with AIFF myself and the Indian Super League to tell you what certain things happened last week, but I will not put it out in the public domain. So therefore, yeah, I was approached about something last week. But again, these are the realities. Goku, we need a radical change. And the radical change is not just AIFF. Look at, if you thought, any one of you thinks, only the AIFF is the problem, right? A lot of people in the system are the problem. That is where we are. Indians should not send men's team in Asian Games, must send their women's team in Asian Games because they need more match time. Hitesh, the women's have qualified, so I don't see there being any problem in that, right? So yes, and the men's team, again, we're talking about the under 23 men's team. To me, if you want to really give exposure, you're playing next year the AFC under 23 Asian Cup. That should be what you should be aiming for. Then I would this year send the under 22s. If you're sending something or want to send something. When will the election happen? Will this happen before the next tender process? I don't even know what tender, when tender, what tender. Elections supposed to happen by September next year, right? And all that is happening independently, of Indian football. Look at the political side of things, of who could be coming in, why not this, that. If you know today who's going to be new president, could Kalyan return and stay? Right? All these things are possible, right? As think the unthinkable. Therefore, where are we going to go? We have been shown in the last 10 months, since it was mentioned in April last year, so we know where we're going now. So I totally agree with you. Indian love Jugaad. That's the criteria to qualify. You can't beg for qualify. Asian Games is used. I totally agree with you. Thanks. Hi, Blue. Alamao thinks he's bigger than Cass. Someone, no, not Alamao, not Churchill. It is Valanka who's driving the whole thing, right? That Valanka thinks that she's in the right. And my thing, I would always say, Valanka, please stop. In the interest of Indian football and also in the interest of Churchill Brothers. Right? So that's the, already scheduled counter started. Blue, I was just telling the people that you and I had this conversation in one of our earlier videos, and I already have two, right? The Chennai match, which got deferred to already, and this is the second one, right? So please keep the count on. If I look at the schedule, right? Wait 1 second. Which was the first one? Chennai versus Mohammedan Sporting, which was supposed to be on the 12th of March is already 21st of April, so that's your first. And the second one is now Monday is Odisha FC versus Punjab FC, which has now been postponed and likely to be on the 11th of May, as I've been told. So it's supposedly on that Monday, a double header. Double header for Odisha. Sorry, a double header because now it's Sporting Club Delhi versus Inter Kashi, and then earlier it would be mostly Odisha versus Punjab. So therefore, that's another thing. So therefore, that's I'm not sure what is happening on that. Hey Siddharth, welcome back. Good evening. How are we? When will we get new AIFF coach? Ajmal, if things go per plan, yeah, you know. So therefore, let's wait and see when what happens. According to my understanding, as I said, until September, we should have a new AIFF. The change you're asking has to come from the government. Had UPAIM actually cared about doing something in football? Blue, you see what is happening, in this whole cricket thing, what the whole Pakistan situation has done, because they realize is that if the India-Pakistan match doesn't happen, you can throw the T20 World Cup into the bins in regard to financials, right? The IPL is also under financial stress. The rest of the sports in India are suffering, right? The ideal case scenario for me, if you ask me, Blue, I can ask for the change. And I would actually say, can the government stay out of everything? Can we do everything without any government interference? That would be my case. The ideal scenario. I know that's unrealistic at the moment, but that would be the ideal case scenario, right? So therefore, those are some of the realities, and let's wait and see where we are. Right, 37 plus minutes. Quick reminder: like, share, and subscribe. Arun Foot here on YouTube. Visit my other social medias. Visit arunfoot.com. 13 likes so far. Thank you very, very much. And we stand still at 3,744 subscribers. If you're new, if you're listening, if you're liking it, please like it. And I did an interview yesterday with Sandeep Menon, the journalist and author, who of course also has his own podcast about his book Sacred Grounds. Speaks about what I would call grassroots football, not in the sense of kids, but rather the sevens in Kerala, Cape football in Bengal, football in the Northeast, which is fun. Let's see. And do watch it. I enjoyed myself doing that interview, and I think he enjoyed himself as well. Arata Izumi, in one of his podcasts, hinted you are focusing on producing X number of coaches in quantity rather than quality. We improved the numbers, but lack quality. Yeah, he's right. I've said that. My simple example in regard to talent, right? Very, very simple. I said that someone who's worked with the gentleman in the past. Um, Ranjan Chaudhuri and the Tata Football Academy in the early 2000s used to produce a batch of 25 boys every 2 years. That batch of 25 players, if I take it compared to today, what we are creating thousands of players across academies, football schools, all the clubs up to the ISL level. How could those 25 boys be better than what we're producing today? So Arata is 100% right, because our problem is we have gone for quantity. I remember in 2014 when I was in Mumbai City, I was discussing with WIFA, at the time Henry Menezes was CEO, about what's the standard. Yeah. And he said, listen, I want to have 5,000 qualified D-licensed coaches in Maharashtra. I said, across the state of Maharashtra, 5,000 coaches sounds good. But how? My simple question to Henry at the time in 2014 was, how are you ensuring the standard of those 5,000 coaches? Again, you can allow them to pass, right? Having 5,000 coaches on paper qualified doesn't guarantee quality to you and to me, right? So therefore, these questions were never answered. So therefore, for me, the question was at the time, is still today, why we always go for numbers rather than for quality. And that is a problem. Yeah. I'm still worried that ISL will kick off as per planning or not. Siddharth, there is a chance that it might not kick off on Saturday. I have that fear that there is something that could happen tomorrow or day after. Again, if the AIFF tomorrow said, listen, Chaudhuri has to play ISL, what happens to the schedule? For me is, I honestly don't know where we're heading. I honestly do not know. Right? So that's where we are. If something happens tomorrow, Churchill can still on Friday, Churchill brothers can still go on Friday to court. Uh, you know, so yeah. It's a very good news today. We see election finally happen. Tribal area, Tipo and hard work. Good to hear, Smith. Good evening. When will this mess will end? When club and federation and the politicians who were on football came up and discussed, say, want to sort it out the best interest of Indian football. A fairly tale story. It's not going to happen, Goku. And I tell you why. It's not a matter of a politician saying that or whoever is leading the AIFF or leading the clubs. As long as the system doesn't have a leader who's willing to stand up and also say, at least internally, the hard, harsh truths, you know? And yeah, I don't know where we're heading, right? I don't really, I seriously don't know where we're heading. So, yeah. Except from cricket, every sport league struggling with financial outrages, and you need to understand your government can't take contract of everything. X9P, I've even heard now that there is a danger that even cricket could be, even the IPL could be in trouble. One of the problems AF has, I think it's one of the only running federations in the system. Rest of the first are broken and aren't even running. Lennon, yes, but again, running how? Part two. Others, the part two is, I'm not sure. Next 2-3 days, I might even put it out tomorrow. Or my plan was actually Saturday before start of the ISL. So let me see when I. But I've actually spoken to people about interviews. But given the scenario, nobody wants to say, listen, I want to come for a pod. Izumi, good coach, Dada. He seems very hardworking. He's working his coaching skills every day. He seems a good coach. Daniel, I've not seen him coaching. I don't, and that's why, I rate Arata quite highly, but I don't know how good or bad his coaching is. Who's the best Indian women football in the present Indian squad according to you? Manisha Kalyan, whenever she's in the squad. I mean, there's no question about it. Even Coach Pat, same thing. Intel, we're always focusing on quantity, X number of coaches rather than quality, 10 or hundreds. Yeah. And that's the problem with this country. What's the point of having 30 to 100,000 coaches for this country if we don't have the quality to train our players? Exactly. That's the point. That is the point of the whole discussion. I rather have 100 good coaches than 10,000 rubbish ones. Because those 100 coaches could theoretically produce you something, while the rest is producing stuff which you're not going to be able to use. It's more than the AIFF. It's the AIFF constitution, a major roadblock for the arrival of a good commercial partner for the ISL. Can the future AIFF committee amend this constitution? Arun, yes, the constitution is the problem. The AIFF itself can amend the constitution, but it didn't want to, right? So that's the reality of things. But to me, the question that arises in my head is very simple. Even if let's say the constitution was amended, right? Let's hypothetically speak about the current scenario. And the AIFF was not the controlling partner of the Indian Super League. Would a commercial partner come in? I look at the broadcast. 2.5 years, more than 2.5 years ago, the value as per Octagon of the rights that they valued it, said for 2 years, season 10, season 11, 550 crores, meaning 275 crores. You know? Now, forget your 8.6. Forget even your 1.6. De facto, the TV value of the broadcast of the Indian Super League has come down from 275 crores to 10 lakhs. That's the, you know, it's not, so it's not even, it's 2,750 times. That's my concern. Hi, did the AIFF meeting take place today? Also saw PUC having a meeting. No, Ochut, the meeting is tomorrow. It was, I guess certain people are trying to avoid those meetings. What will going to happen if AIFF decide to let Churchill Brothers to play on us? They will find any kind of jugaad for the scheduling matches. Goku, I don't think the other clubs will play. There is a letter which the other clubs have sent. One second, I've got it. Where is the letter? One second. Let me see the club's letter. I'll read you the letter from the clubs, then you will understand of where we stand on that. So there's a letter gone out from the AIFF to certain members of the EXCO to be part of that meeting, which is now scheduled for 12 at noon tomorrow, right? So they've scheduled it earlier. Then there is a reply from Interkashi, which clearly states, ISL participation and what dates. In the last sentence is just to be read, which is the CAS award is thus fully enforceable and therefore is no legal reason to provisionally include Churchill Brothers in the Super League. So that's also been, to sit. And then the clubs once more not raised today, but raised on the 9th, subject of ISL clubs regarding proposed inclusion of additional club in the ISL 2025-26. Absence of sporting merit, financial and operational viability for clubs, precedent for broader pyramid. What does this mean? Lack of defined legal and regulatory framework for such inclusion, disruption to sporting format and calendar, financial and commercial prejudice for participating clubs, impact on contractual and sporting commitments of clubs. So those are some of the points raised. So these are the points that we're talking about and where this mess finds itself in. For sure, clubs will down entirely if kickoff not happened ASAP. I spoke with someone today and he said clubs are not just suffering but on the verge of the very last season. Siddharth, if you ask me today, I would be surprised if at least 4 or 5 clubs don't shut down in the summer. Whatever happens. Right? Because at the moment we're in a situation that this thing, and the clubs have to themselves take some of the blame. I go back to what I've been saying in the last 2.5 years. Listen, Reliance could walk away. Who's taking charge of this? Who is looking for alternatives? How will you run this? They've not been able to do all of that. And we're still, again, for me, these are basic things. So therefore, Siddharth, for me, if the ISL happens, right? Again, I've gone back. In the last 2 days, I've gone back in my head to think, maybe the ISL might not happen. So let's see. The way Churchill Brothers is adopting this whole thing, they should be banned. They should have been banned for the Inter-Kashi FC fiasco earlier anyways. Blue, I agree with you. But who's going to take that call? Who is banning anyone? Who's banning Churchill for what they've done? Who's banning Ranjit and Delhi FC for what they've done? What happened to the Anwar Ali case? Right? Where is the moral compass in Indian football? Where is ethics? It's a free fall, no? That is the problem, no? Which you and I and we face. Guten Abend, good evening, Zorawa. So Delhi FC got relegated. Yes, Zorawa. Officially they have. Sonal broadcast ISL. Zorawa, that's been said, but I heard people saying that, by now the contracts are supposed to sign. Let's see. That starts with how should fans like us use the platform, go in large numbers to stadium support? Yeah, Renal, go support, buy a package from Fan Code. Again, all of that. Watch it. Watch it, watch it, watch it. Push it on your socials. Again, if we want an Indian Super League in 2026-27, if the Indian football fan turns its back on the ISL, I don't even know if we'll have top tier, top level club football in India next season. Right? We'll have some the IWL style. By the way, Mohun Bagan U14 defeated Mohammedan Sporting 23. Yeah, Zorav, I saw the result. Um, yeah, happens. Mohammedan Sporting is in shambles. Again, no one has asked the question. Mohammedan Sporting, do you have actually enough finances to play the whole season? Have you cleared your debt? Haven't they said 3-4 times, oh, we've got a investor ready, this, that, everything? Well, what happened to that? It's a free fall. It is sad, it is tragic to see what has happened. India should follow IHF hockey. India has reversed a bit, winning Asian Games back to back, Olympics medal back to back. Even hockey is not popular in Holland, but it has revived a little bit. Hitesh, again, don't these comparisons. Sorry, uh, uh, you know, um, you know, um, and hockey has come up because, and I've said this a few times. It's on Naveen Patnaik. Naveen Patnaik did for hockey a lot of things. And without Naveen Patnaik, hockey would not be where it is today. Very simple. Very, very simple. To me, that is, it's not the IHF, it's not the Indian Hockey Federation or the international body or whatever. It is Naveen Patnaik because he's willing, he gave hockey a home. And yeah, right. So yeah. With 3 days to go, I don't see much hype from the organizers. This is a good. Uchud, what hype? The organizers are running from pillar to post to see that things are running. They have forgotten. Listen, there is no central organizer. Your AIFF has so many things running in parallel. You're trying to do. Have you heard anything about the I League in the last few days? Who's playing I League? Right? Do you think the election AIFF will make any kind of big changes to football? You always said there are certain people who can do better and have a vision for any football. Do you think they have the chance to sit in that chair? Yes, they have, Google. And to just tell you something, I was actually, you know, not about what, but myself was talking to the AIFF last week about something. Right? Interesting that that thing didn't come out, but I was talking to Sir about something with the AFF and, said the situation is so bad, maybe, you know, I can help. I can come in and avert disasters. Wonder who will Bajaj go against now? Till now he was against FSL. Now we'll go against F4 relegation, Delhi FC. So Ravar, he was against the AFF. He got Praful and Co got out. Then he worked against. He was for AFF. He was for Kalyan. Then he was against. Then got FSDL out. Then he was actually for the AFF. As long as the Anwar Ali case was going in his favor, now against him, Delhi. So today here, today there, right? Still there is an if for ISL. Only few days remember for ISL going to start. I was out for a week. Can you update? What's the reason you believe that there's an if still for ISL? So Ravar, simple thing, and not only to you, to all of you guys. I can answer that. I will answer that question, right? Simple thing is for me is, you know what? I try and do those short videos on a daily basis, right? And I would say if you want to know what was been happening over the last few weeks, or if you say you were not in the watch my video yesterday, which is it really going to kick off? Fixes announcements. Spoke about the fan court thing. A big interview. I think, right? And for me, it's very simple. The AFF on Monday met to talk about the inclusion of church Sorry. And had to pick up a call from someone. Where were we? Where were we? So yeah, I was updating you. See, Zorawar, the simple summary is there are venue issues. Uh, um, Mumbai City has sorted it. Chennai have sorted it. Interkashi still is not clear where Interkashi will play its home games, but they're a little flexible because they will only start in March. Odisha FC haven't sorted their issues. And then on top of that, we have got the whole Churchill Brothers thing. The AIFF was supposed to appoint, or the AIFF and the ISL clubs were supposed to appoint a league commissioner. That has also suddenly died out. So therefore, there's a lot of things, right? Right. You want sensible guys in that chair to make sensible decisions. We're hoping these guys will sort it out for Indian football. That doesn't make any sense. Coco, I think that it is still possible. I think it is possible, and there are the right people, but yeah, like Bajaj finding itself at first, then becomes side of AF to push out FSL. Now got regular League 2. He changes his opinions first. Don't needs people like him should ban. Yeah, then summary. It's like we want to overthrow the current regime of Kalyan Chaubey to take control. Yeah, yeah. It is possible. It is possible. It is doable. Yeah, but again, if like you said that that's what happened now, then suddenly there is an if. So now that there is, I always said the if is still there, but it looked a week ago that there is the reality of things looked better. And there were certain decisions that these guys were willing to take, not only AIFF, but also the clubs, which gave me the confidence, okay, you're heading to the right direction. And the start of this week, I mean, it's Wednesday, I've lost that confidence again because they've taken certain decisions, also internal decisions, infos which are not public. So therefore, for me, yeah, that's a danger. That's a real danger. And you know, a lot of questions which I have, and none of these questions have been answered. Right. So therefore, let's wait and see. It's as even if you know what my problem is. The ISL might even start on Saturday, right? Uh, and I don't know if it'll finish. So we are moving from day to day. And that's what I've said. When you talk about next year, next season, future AIFF, this and that, all of that is so far away. So, in that distant future. So let's see. Southampton was 0-3-4-3. Yeah. Someone, I mean, the this game, I mean, Leicester City leading 3-0 and then losing 4-3 to Southampton is just, yeah, just incredible. But that's football for you. That is football for you. Now, brother, better we not talk about old scooters here. World shifted towards maxi scooter these days, so it's high time for us to upgrade our emotions and minds. Yeah, maybe move away from scooters and move to motorbikes, huh? Not that as per AFL Constitution can provide a comeback in his school time over. Renal, as I said, let's forget who can come in, who will come in, what will happen. It's not taking us anywhere, right? What is your opinion, IW? Will it be held in two phases? It was done haphazardly. Our women's football deserve better after fruitful year. Hitesh, what fruitful year in that way is it? Was it financially a fruitful year? Forget the fruitful year from a sporting perspective. Has anybody come forward to support the Indian women's football? And don't tell me Coca-Cola because that was a CSR project of the FIFA World Cup Trophy Tour. Men's FIFA World Cup Trophy Tour, to add to that, right? So therefore, no. This is the reality of things. That the IWL was held. I at this stage I go the other way around. Let's see. What decision you're talking about which are not public? RS, there are certain things which I know, which are not public, and if it's not something that I can or want to make public, I will not make public. That's why, right? ISL kickoff when, Pratik? Saturday, 14th of Feb. Dada, Still, asset clubs, grassroots partner, Rans Foundation. I think grassroots work are part of the CSFT, right? General, at some clubs they are, at some clubs they're not. Because some of the clubs are also, uh, some of the clubs are shut down, no? Their grassroots and youth systems. Some have not even started over the years. So therefore, no. So there are certain partners. I know that Mumbai City is still working with them for sure. I've seen that in the last few days on their socials. But others, I don't even know. I don't, and some of them have done a lot. Sorry, FC Goa, Northeast United. I don't know if they're still doing all these things. Yeah, because that info flow from within the system is so cut down to basics. So let's see. Out of football context question, have you seen the Epstein? Yes, Goku, I have, but again, that's something which is so disgusting. I don't want to talk about that. Yeah. Odisha's new foreign updates. Pratik, I've heard Komran Tursunov, former Mohun Bagan striker, was it Trau and others. I think he was recently playing the Bengal Super League. He seems to be a candidate. And then I don't know if Odisha will be trying to jumble up whoever is available in the market. With every passing day, we now understand how important was FSDL's contribution other than the money that they were giving AIFF. 100%. Right? They were the glue which kept the system, and yeah, it's sad where we are. It is very sad that we're stuck where we are, right? And the question is, how can we get out of this and improve? So at the moment, I don't know. I don't know how we can do that switch, that turn around, and say, So therefore, yeah, we're stuck at a very precarious stage in this. Yeah, let's see. I bought the fan code League Pass for ISL. Very good, Zoravar. Very welcoming, So very important for all of us. We still don't know whether we can watch the games from outside India or not. Yeah, Uchu, that's actually a very, very correct statement because I have not heard anything. And, and yeah, let's wait and see what happens, right? I mean, it's I don't know when uh um we'll have to wait and see what um yeah, what will happen, right? So therefore, I'm not sure. India should make 100 plus artificial ground each state foreign coach Indian players then to improve. By the way, YF said foreign coach for when they can't bring foreign. They don't for men. Smith, there are two things. I don't know if this 100 artificial coaches is going to be, the game changer. I think the grounds. I know a lot of people think, oh, we've got a grounds issue. I don't know. I don't think so. You have to play whatever you have. Foreign coaches coming, I don't see that. Again, this is that is all a funding thing. And for the women's team, the under 17s and the senior women's team coaches, as far as I've understood, the money for that is not coming from the AFFs, but from someone private, so from an NGO which is funding those two. So therefore, that why we have it. And Khalid has been they wanted an Indian men's coach, no? So therefore, Khalid Jamil is there where it is. Ranchi for background got rejected by AFC, not a single good news. Siddharth, for me, it was clear it would be rejected. I said that a few days ago, no? That my feeling, not my feeling, my understanding was that the Ranchi ground, because it's never hosted, even top level football per se, that suddenly becomes an AFC certified stadium. No, there will be XYZ things which needs to be done, and that will not be done in 3-4 weeks. So therefore, again, they're now saying that AFF could be going back to Kerala, which I would love to see. I mean, I don't know if it's most probably Trivandrum at the moment might be the realistic approach, but we'll have to wait and see what happens on that front. Right, 1 hour, 7 minutes of this live. Once more, reminder: like, share, and subscribe if you haven't. 18 likes so far. Thank you very much. And those of you watching, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, do subscribe it and support all of us here on the channel. Is Indian football for women? Oh no, Smith, there are reasons to it, as I explained. Why was India asked to disband, especially in women's? Because it helped young Indian girls to play in senior women team. Hitesh, money. There is no money. The AFF, the AFF can't run the ISL. It can't run the I League. Where is the money to run an Indian Arrows program, girls and men's? We just spoke, right? So let's see. I will buy pass by tomorrow, 300 rupees. Good, Smith. Everybody is doing it. Go forward. PTP wanted FSDL out. What is the alternative? You don't need to pity them. You should be angry with them, Uchut. That they wanted only an idiot. Again, only and and you know. So that's the thing. Are still there any revenue shared model in Asuka? No. Goko, where is the money? What revenue? At the moment, it's all about cut your costs, cut your costs. There is no revenue. Are there any revenue? Nope. This is why FF head should always be one who knows ground reality of Indian football, not some politician. How can ever be so delusional? They were thinking companies would be begging to invest. RS, forget Kalyan Chaubey is not a politician to me. He acts like a politician. Do not forget, Kalyan Chaubey is an ex-Indian footballer. So if you're going to put the blame on the politician, in this case, it is wrong. You know, so yeah, it's not. It is, to me, the question is not even the president. To me, is the secretariat, the secretary and the staff, and those guys need to know the realities. I will not buy the pass until the answer clarity not cleared. Man, Goku, that's actually wise thing. But Goku, I would say, you know what? If it doesn't happen properly, fan code will give it back. So don't bother. As things stands, we shouldn't expect any changes once new AFF comes. Current ones are incapable to do basic things, and sadly they're destroyed, and this distorted system will have lasting harm. Blue, it is so sad, but I have to agree with everything that you've written here. Right? That is my thingy, my concern. If I look at things, so therefore for me, it's I don't know where we can go. You know, you know. So for me, it's a disaster of where we are at this moment, and these people, if you think they can't make it worse, they have made it worse, right? And that is what I in the again I've warned in the last 32, 33 months that this and um, yeah, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. I strongly feel that it should be shown via Indian football YouTube page, but who will take that decisions? Who will find workarounds? The whole thing feels like a headquarter without head. Ochut, it's a question to ask FanCode because they have the rights, right? And again, but the question is also to the clubs, to the AFF. Again, they were bothering about broadcast. They were about TV. So yeah, that's it. By the way, what's the conclusion to Anwar Saga? No, Zorawar. Mohun Bagan has gone now to CAS. And I think the other side have not um, put in the lawyers, I think, and they're waiting. Again, to me, the CAS case is relatively simple. Anwali wrong, East Bengal wrong, and Delhi FC wrong. No single sponsor for men. Yeah. Hype all recent videos, guy. Yeah, thanks, Robert. Please do. Again, especially, when I try and do interviews, watch my interview, which I did yesterday. The first part is online with Sandeep Menon, where we speak about his book, Secret Grounds. Lovely, lovely stories about his own childhood and all that stuff. I've got a second part coming where we actually speak about the state of Indian football. Other videos, again, last few days about is it going to kick off, the fixtures. And with Akshata did something before the fanball meet. Those of you in Delhi, maybe you've been there, fan court stuff. Those of you who want to, 11 days ago, I did an interview with Abhik, CEO of Kerala Blasters, on the situation. And Abhik hinted at certain things, which he also today mentioned in the press conference. In some Josh, I ordered the new jersey of BFC, but who knows, players will wear the same jersey this season or not. Still fingers crossed. So that, good. You're supporting BFC, you're a fan of BFC, and The jersey looks good, huh? Looks stylish. I liked it. It's irritating how the people who wanted FSTL out will still give you excuses how they are the right ones. The people were not right at the time. The people are not right. And to me, yeah, if you are not willing to understand that FSDL was the glue who kept the ISL together and he kept the system running financially and structurally, um, that's the reality. So yeah, very sad, very sad. Kalyan Khalid, is going up and down about Indian football. Mm. Most importantly, we want to also ask why these Indian coaches don't want to improve themselves and what kind of coaching they are giving to a youth. Not even questionable or doubtable. Worse, I have seen. Yeah. We have let down our women's team big time, not only FF, but sponsors as well, who keep talking about women's empowerment. Uchud, there was no interest and there is no interest. Right? That is the sad part. Right? Watching Sepan versus Al Ali right now. Good match is going on so far. Okay, so that U17 AFC draws tomorrow. What can be what be the best result we can hope for in both boys and girls? Shay, I don't see any best for us because you will have at least two strong teams in the group, both men's and women's. So if I look at those two, one second, I did. Um, one second. Mm, one second. Um, I have I have in the boys game, I've got pot one, Saudi, South Korea, Japan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Australia, Yemen, Indonesia, Thailand, Tajikistan, Australia, Yemen, Indonesia, pot two, Thailand, China, Vietnam, India, pot three, and pot four is North Korea, UAE, Qatar, and Myanmar. And therefore, to me, your problem is, do we know how good or how bad they are? So therefore, for me, the easy again. If I go by what where we stand, and the same applies for the girls. There is no easy one. Sir, did you want pass? No, I didn't, Smith, because I live abroad. I live in Germany, so I don't have access to the pass. Even if I wanted to buy it, support the league, but I can't. Interkashi's home stadium is chosen. No, Hannibal, they are not chosen. Interkashi have till mid-March to decide where they want to play. So therefore, I think Interkashi is playing for on time as a factor. So therefore, let's wait and see what they at the end decide where will they play, so to say. Where to watch in television? Arnav, likely on Sony. So Rava says you need politicians, sporting bodies, only they can bring funding, though you will need high profile politicians close to ruling party. As in cricket, not unknown politicians like Casey. Again, Zorawar, I always say Casey politician, yeah. If you don't have the money to run anything, then you take the fight against the only organization who's willing to invest in you. I don't understand how these people think. Was it all about ego and power? I don't even know if it was about ego and power. Honestly, I don't know. Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, India, Myanmar, best group. How can you say Uzbekistan? Right? I mean, if I'm looking at it, you know, I don't know. It's very difficult to me. Yeah. We had no any experiment with AFF, though they can't disappoint, but they still massively disappointed me. Underestimated the power of. Yeah, Blue. I spoke about it. Um, um, worst case, and I feel the worst case. Um, we've been able to jump under that worst case level, right? I have to support one team. Smith, or you, if you want to support more teams, go ahead, do that. I don't understand why China is not doing well in football. They have heavy investment, and I don't think they lack in talent or coaching. Do you think they don't have the quality coaches just like us? Goku, to analyze and tell you why China is faltering, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know enough about China. I know that China has faced problems due to COVID, right? They had a proper lockdown, shutdown over extended periods. And it's a weird one. I would have said before the big investments, they were actually more successful, right? They qualified for 2002. They had, Sun Jihai was playing at Man City, for example. Du Wei was playing at Everton. Jiaji Shao was playing here in Germany for Frankfurt. So therefore, so let's see. But I like Sunil Chitran. I'm from Northeast. I have to support Northeast United FC, but I have to support one for whom I have to support. Smith, who you support is up to you. If you are a fan of Sunil Chitran, you want to support Bangalore FC because of that, you can. If you want to support Northeast United, you can. If you want to support both of them, you can. It is up to you. Till now, India is an independent country, so you can take your own decision. Nobody's forcing you to support a team, right? Will the broadcasting quality of this season ISM matches be good or will it be of low quality? Nikhil, this is a question where I say we are way past the quality of the broadcast, right? Quality on the field, quality overall of the league. Those are not questions to be asked, because the question is it happening and will it happen till the end? That is the question. We are in survival mode. We are not in the mode of discussion of saying, hey, you know what, the quality this year is bad of the broadcast. Oh, you know what, the quality of the on the field is bad. I don't want to even have that conversation, because that is, my expectations levels are so low compared to what it was in the last few years, that I just want the league to happen, and it happened in some organized manner. Yeah. So that's the thing. What's your take on Disha FC new head coach? Are they going to recruit now or play in Bhubaneswar? I don't know. The new coach, again, they went for an Indian. They had 2, 3 options. I think Bibiano was one of the coaches they spoke to, but they couldn't get to a deal. And now Purushottam is there. Again, the question is, what's the team? I think Carlos Delgado is staying. Uh, uh, you know, uh, um, so therefore, for me, and Bhubaneswar at the moment is the only option there seems to be. But if they don't work it out, I'm interested to see what they're going to do. Odisha have gained a little bit of time if I see that they're not playing their match on Monday against Punjab FC, and their next home game, the next home game is on 24th of February. So Tuesday in less than 2 weeks. Interesting to see what happens against Interkashi. Why do in India we build football stadiums and field far from seats unlike European ones? Are they all multi-purpose? Zoravar, we were discussing this yesterday. Some of the stadiums were built even with cricket in mind, right? So you had Goa, Nehru Stadium, used to host cricket matches. The Nehru Stadium in Kochi used to hold cricket matches. The Eden Gardens used to be a cricket come football stadium. So yeah, there you have. And then if not, then you have athletics tracks, Salt Lake Stadium as an example. The Nehru Stadium in Delhi, and football specific stadiums. What we've got the Mumbai Football Arena. You've got theoretically the Ambedkar in Delhi, Lamwal in Aizawl. So yeah. What is the future of futsal in India? Hitesh, at the moment, difficult as long as futsal doesn't have the right structure to grow, and the understanding being there that futsal is not some guys who actually normally play 11 sides or play small fielded games on artificial turfs who suddenly put indoors. I just pray that we're not thrashed in any of the Asian Cups. We will play this year. Expect except Japan match. The 10 was minimum. Yeah. What should I've said? Japan, if it goes wrong, 20-0, why not? Worst case, right? Odisha lost 18-0 to Arunava at Diamonds Women's. The best business move maker in the situation, Khalid Jamil from the international team head coach's life is set. Whether he's fired or not, good money. Got enough money to take retirement in India. No, honey, but his salary is not retirement money. And secondly, the AIFF is in a situation that they might say, national coach, you're leaving and we're not paying you. Right? Australia not going to play in Asian Games, so firstly, can we go? Sujal, I actually gave a rant on this question. Early on in the show. Do watch that if you want to. Because anyone talking about the Asian Games, for me, should not be following Indian football. Simple. The Asian Games is the most wasted tournament for Indian football. It makes no sense for us, right? We've not qualified. We're not amongst the best 16 in Asia. Not even close. Even if we're we were close as per the rankings. So first of all, and secondly, if we're going to send a team, we should send it under 22 or even under 20s, right? So for me, um, no, I don't want us to go. Look at the mess in. I warned in 2023 the mess will happen. It happened because one, the government came and said, no, 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 you have to send Sunil, you have to send Sandesh, you have to send Gurpreet, and that's kind of what don't talk about participation in the Asian Games. Anyone who talks about participation in the Asian Games should not be following Indian football. Just do something else. Do whatever you want, but don't follow football because Asian Games is the most wasted tournament. It is part of the legacy of Indian football. It's part of the problem of Indian football's legacy. Get that into your head. Sorry, I'm angry. I really want welcome, but if tough group for both you 17 teams really necessary for Indian football. What's the value? This season, the broadcast rights fan code, is this a benefit for the fan code or why are TV broadcast still unable to find it? Nikhil, nobody sees a value. The broadcast value of ISL stands at 10 lakhs. It was 275 crores. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, what to say? Therefore, fan code is gambling, spending 8.6 crores, right? But no broadcaster wants to pick it up per se, right? At the moment, we're talking about trying to pick up a free broadcast. I think it's ego. AIFF probably couldn't accept that FS organized football leagues better than them. So, Rava, did they understand that they were organizing football leagues better than them to having an ego? They actually thought, don't forget, we should all not forget that the AIFF at some stage said, you know what, we can raise, what was it? 500 crores. Ranchi rejected, which was very expected. Yes. Kochi front row opinion, if you had to choose host 31 March match, I think Kochi good. I don't know status is same, but Kerala deserves passion football. Shantat, I don't even know if Kochi will be allowed to host with all the things that they've redone it. I don't know if they have to AFC have to send someone to revisit. Otherwise, I would have said maybe Trivandrum, that host has hosted matches in the past. China's doing well in youth level. They will catch up. They have world class sports infra. Again, sports infra is not the question, right? Qatar is world class sports infra. It is not about sports infra. When I saw Sunday match against Turkey, Bibiano Fernandez' approach was building from back. The only thing I think there are two players who can do better, nature them better, the left back and the left winger. They have the pace, technical ability, and proves once again that the technically can overcome the physical that was shown by the left back from that match. Overall, it was bad performance. Strike was worst. Um, yeah, Turkey was better. And if we had lost 5-6-0, I think we couldn't have said anything against it. Turkey was awful, luckily awful with its finishing. But that 1-0 is, it is a false friend because you think, oh, we were not that bad, right? And then think, oh, 1-0 against Turkey, wow, that's a brilliant result. And that to me is the problem. To me is a problem because in these kind of matches, uh, uh, you know, um, so yeah, it is the way it is at the moment, and hopefully things will be changed. What's the process of getting into AF as an official or getting big position as secretary? RS, as an EXCO member, you have to be either an ex-footballer or be part of a state association. And secretary, you have to apply for the job whenever it comes into the public domain. China may faltering football, but the results they're bringing again. J League clubs, I was watching gameplay, so good defense and attack that 2-3 team in top Asia. Yeah. Opala, where did I go? Poop, 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 poop. We are in scary times. People are again starting to bombard Twitter on the Asian Games situation. They're making all the permutation and combination for those two and stuff. Yeah, anyway, and that is part of um, wasted time. Sir, you're from Kolkata. Which team you support in Kolkata? East Bengal, Mumbai, Mohammedan. So except Mumbai City and Punjab. Smith, family roots are in Bangladesh, so we support East Bengal. But again, to me, more closer to my heart. is Mumbai City and Punjab FC, because Mumbai City as a club I started, Punjab FC or Round Glass Punjab, I started off the academy. I think broadcast quality will be same as fan code, as they will probably relay fan code telecast to Sony. Zoravar, fan code is not producing it. It is Kaleidoscope who's producing it, and that Kaleidoscope broadcast will be put onto fan code and onto the. If Sony is the broadcaster, then it will be on Sony. And if there is an international partner, that international partner will take that broadcast. So for me, those are all of these three are interlinked. But if you look at the standard of what Rise was producing for Star and then for Sports 18 and then again for Star, that quality, yeah, was different levels. So therefore, this quality comparison, forget. Do me please two favors, guys. Whoever is watching, listening now or live or later on, let's not go on and talk about the quality of this, the quality of that, because to me, the biggest problem at the moment is we are in a situation that if it's running, at least I am happy. If it's not running, we have a problem, right? So let's see. You say Kalyan Chowbe is not powerful enough, but then why did government pressure owner to participate in league this year? RS, the sports minister did not. Kalyan Chowbe didn't. You know. So yeah. What kind of viewership does an ISL match on average get? Shrey, it depends. I don't have the numbers at the back of my mind, but Shay, at the moment, I wouldn't have any idea what kind of viewership we're going to get. We've had matches where I think cumulated. I think what we're talking the other day. I think cumulated an ISL match gets between, I think, 5 to 20 lakhs. I think it was on Hotstar, right? And top matches can get up to 1 crore. Broadcast will be high quality. Don't worry, fan code owner supports for no, Smith. It has nothing to do with the fan code. Fan code is picking up the feed from Kaleidoscope. It depends on Kaleidoscope. Fan code is also only getting the product, the finished product. Puts a condition worse than football in India. Yeah, actually, it doesn't exist, right? Ultimately, Jugaad people finally came on the channel too. So now people like football with Sujal even asking logical things. Pranata, let the people ask questions, and I will, as your questions or your observations, I will take them and I'll try and answer them. What's the point? Was the Asian Games in football? Nothing. That's my point. We're not in best 30 of Asia's way. Yeah, that's the point. I saw the post from Delhi-based Juba Stronger FC inviting for trials for IW2. What caught my eye was that post was the badge from a single trials. There's a cooperation going on. Roshan, we've spoken about it. They're all over the place, and I'm not even taking it seriously. What FC Ingolstadt has been doing in India, and VfB Stuttgart. It's sorry for German clubs. It's a disgrace. Your interview with Sandeep Menon suddenly stopped like a technical issue. No, Roshan, it didn't actually. I had to do a harsh cut because I wanted to split it in two. This was purely about his book, and the second part is a general Indian football discussion. I know I should have done an end to this part and started the second part. Sorry, my mistake. Because I wanted to split it apart, but yeah, that's the reason. There was nothing technical. ISL did FSL in a good way. Why didn't ever give this season FSL contract? What profit did they ever make now? Nikhil, there's no profit. FSL is not paying you any money, and the AIFF is in the mess they are. Wished so-called Indian football fans use this much mind for success AFC Asian Cup campaigns. I tweeted for it rather than an unvalid Asian Games for its same silly logic. Shanlata, it's a very good observation. Very, very sad, very, very sad, but that's a very good observation of yours. Yeah, we needed the support the women's team. Are we getting anything of this support at the moment for our women's? I don't see that. Right. It seems like a dream when Steamert was looking like a savior in 2022, that Iraq game, 23, that Iraq game, those 20 unbeaten, 12, 13 unbeaten games. They're losing Bangladesh. What has happened, man? The players are the same. Sujal, watch my videos from 2023. My simple request. Watch those videos. I'll tell you even the numbers, and then listen to what I say. I was at the stadium. In Bangalore to watch the semis and the final. And my simple assumption was, watching all of that we weren't you know, as good, right? If I look, for example, I have a discussion with Akshata and with Hiren in which is Candid Conversation video number 3. Where we talk about Asian Cup and whatever, blah blah, and then we go on, right? Interviews, this, that, everything. Um, right, the whole Asian Games fiasco. India was Kuwait, right? Video number 12, where Rahul and I speak about it. And I'm sitting in Bangalore at my cousin's place and we talk about it. Watch those videos. Again, the situation, the Igor sold you a fake dream. Sorry to say that. Right. And I always say a friendly game result does not depict a result in a qualifier or in the final of a competition. If for example, yesterday's 1-0 loss to Turkey. Sounds brilliant. Sounds brilliant. I watched the game, right? And actually have to still speak to a friend of mine who's a Turkish, who's German Turkish who was in Antalya, who actually went to the match and watched it. I want to get his opinion about it. Because the 1-0 is an unfair result for both sides. India wasn't that good and Turkey wasn't that bad. The Turkish team was just bad with its finishing, right? So therefore, we need to be in that reality. Our team, Ego's team match, got a functional team in 2019 from Stephen Constantine. But he handed over a broken team to Manolo. Under Manolo, team even got a lot worse. And under Khalid, I don't even know where it is. Do you think anyone in AIFF top leadership, bracket headless, feel bad for not conversing with FS enough? Yes, Blue, there are people. Yeah, there is leadership within the AIFF who felt that it should have been extended. But it wasn't. Good thing about match was we didn't much long pass. We played little normal game from far from the good defense and shaky attack, but responsible. Respect to score and must continue. Momentum. Shanlata, it makes no sense. It would have been honestly for in a practice match. We are lying to ourselves. If you're losing 1-0 to Turkey in the way we played, and you're saying, oh, it was okay. You know what? It is a 5-6-0 match. Turkey was all over us. They could have eaten us for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner. They just said, okay, you know what? I will have something for breakfast and I'll leave you alive for the rest of the day. Indian people in any country, whatever sport fan, never leave this mindset, will push us 100,000 times back. Yeah. Overall surprise with Fanco and Sony on board. Simon, I knew from I've spoken to Fancode when I was in Mumbai a couple of months back, and I remember that they'd said, you know what, we are theoretically interested. We don't know what we're going to do with it. And I'm positively surprised that they actually went through and actually bid for it. So that way, thank you, Fancode, I would say. With Sony also, Sony said, if I don't have to pay for it, I'm interested to show it. Because we don't have alternatives. The best thing with Fancode and with Sony is we didn't have to fall back on DD Sports. So therefore, let's wait and see, right? Let's not judge any quality, this quality, there. Let's enjoy football for once. Yeah, Simon, exactly. If we want to watch quality, no, yeah, we'll be crying at the end of a day. Because once this starts, we will realize forcefully, in a harsh way, so, no. Be prepared for the lowest possible quality yet. Yeah. 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 Teams are unprepared. I hope players don't get seriously injured. Jumbled up teams. And I don't know, what we're going to get. What's the condition of the grounds, this and that? What's the broadcast quality, right? Very difficult. How good is Kaleidoscope? Have they produced in league in India? Yes, Arunava, they've produced stuff in Kolkata. They've produced the Duran Cup. I think in the past they've also, at least their equipment was used to produce the I-League. So yeah, let's see. As you are involved with Punjab FC, can you tell how did the academy come into place? Ranjit says we never gave players his whole club, etc., etc. How exactly things happened? So Joel, when we started in I was approached in 2017 by the guys running the Round Glass Academy, and we looked at models of what to do, not to do, and I was advisor and with the strategy, came in, spoke about things, we worked on things. Ranjit didn't give anything. Ranjit sold Minerva to Roundgrass Punjab, which I opposed, and that's why the reason I left, or I was no longer there in the long run. Um, you know, and to me, yeah, again, he has his side of the story to tell. Again, he got a lot of money, but yeah, let's keep it at that. This Churchill brothers thing will once again raise concerns about the authenticity of promotion relegation. Simon, it raises the question about the integrity of the pyramid of Indian football. I mean, I could come tomorrow, form a club, if I have the right pressure tools on the AIFF. I could theoretically say, you know what, I formed club. I formed. Let's theoretical example. I form in whatever city. I have access to a ground and a stadium, and I form Arunava FC, right? Or I form Arunava FC, and I convince the best players in the world to come to sign for the club, right? To sign some of the good Indian players, six good foreigners, and I put pressure on them. I say, oh, listen, guys, I'm building this super club in India called Arunava FC. If they allow Churchill, I could come with that next year. Say, hey, listen, you have to let me in, right? So, um, yeah. Indonesia has 90% origin players in its team. That's the reason for the drastic improvement in this year's World Cup. Yeah, Bitesh. Reality, we've spoken about this. Yeah, a lot of teams are doing it around the world. Last season, average viewership was 20 to 40K with clubs like Keras, FC, Supergiant, Isbon getting in multi hundred thousands. Yeah. Sorry. But why would Sports Minister care about ISL and force owners? They're not supporting them with stadium issues or anything after announcement. It didn't help other sports leagues before that closed. Aris, they put pressure. The club said yes. They didn't get any support from the ministry, and there where we are. Bas khatam. This is again, Aris, this is how it is, and it stands sadly, right? So therefore, yeah. So therefore we are where we are, right? Football is the only sport in the world where countries like Syria, Iraq, Yemen are doing good in world. I don't know what other sports these countries do, so therefore I don't know. Fanata. This season I don't care about football quality, let alone streaming production quality. I'm just looking for the season to happen. As fans supporting in stadiums and streaming, that's all. Perfectly said, Shumit. Perfectly said, and that is what it is needed. Otherwise, again, if you are we are expecting something out of this ISL season, then our approach to this matter is wrong. At this moment, the league needs to happen. Period. Nothing else. It needs to happen. It needs to be played. And then if something happens after that, yeah, great. Will there be Tamil and Malayalam commentary this season? Nikhil, from what I've heard, yes. At least on Fancode, I think Fancode has, at least what I've heard, hinted at Bangla, Hindi, Malayalam, and Tamil. Thanks for the appreciation of my observation, sir. Your appreciation deeply valued and respected for me. It's huge for me as a deep Indian football fan. Welcome. I know, sir, gameplay was very bad, but only thing we can do is hope for the U17 to do better in coming games. No, Shanlata, there is, again, you're younger. I leave you a hope. Uh, uh, you know, uh, um, to me, again, I saw them in the qualifiers. I didn't feel we were good in the qualifiers. Let's be honest about it. And this is not the best in the under 17s I've seen. I think there are very few people who have seen as many matches as I've seen over the years of an under 17 team in India and abroad. And we were totally exposed against Turkey. We were totally exposed. It's just that Turkey didn't take us apart with the goals, right? And if Turkey scored 4 or 5 goals in the first half an hour, they would have. I don't want to think about it, right? 1 hour 41 minutes. Quick reminder: like, share, and subscribe if you haven't. Please support Arun Foot here on YouTube and my other social medias. 28 likes so far. Thank you very much for that. And we stand at 3,746 at this moment. So if you're watching, if you're liking, please, subscribe to the channel, ask your questions, become part of the conversations. And of course, as I say, watch my short videos. I did I feel a very interesting inside interview with Sandeep Menon on his book, Sacred Grounds. Do watch that, please. Yeah. And I've got a second part of that interview coming in a few days where Sandeep and I discuss and speak about the state of Indian football. And we've got some very interesting ideas as well about what needs to be done or could be or should be done as well. So thanks a lot for your support. Moma Superjan said, am I Ranawade? Yes, they did, Zoravar. And I have a question, a simple question. Was Amar Ranawade released by Kerala Blasters before the 31st of Jan? Was he a free agent before the transfer window closed? If not, it's an illegal transfer. And nobody can answer that question at the moment. I haven't asked the clubs actually, but I'm just asking this question. Is there a, there's some of these transfers that seem to be happening. And if these players weren't free agents before the 31st, so, there's a lot of players here and there. I would like to see that those transfers were actually legal. He signed for Garavas and then switched him over. Did he sign any contract with Garavas? Because in the social media posted as they signed him, Garavas fans are angry. So now, if you follow, the Blasters fans getting angry, I understand it on one side, but I also understand the position of an Abik where they clearly stated, you know what, we need to reduce cost. That was the complete mission of the Blasters sporting management, given as a mandate, you know, by the owners. You want to save this club, run this club. You know, so therefore for me, yeah. Arunava sounds like a great name for these daily live streams. Arunava. Yeah, Roshan, I think I'm looking at the club. I'm looking at Arunava C, and if this whole thing works out next season, get a big investor, and then yeah, jokes apart, no, yeah, it was just a fun thing that I said. Back in January, Jalen was not even ready to host ISL. So Kerala Blasters were looking to go to EMS. So how can I be ready to host a qualifier? So Joe, a qualifier hosting is a different thing, because if the Blasters are now gonna play there in the coming weeks, that means um, you know. They will improve the quality. My question is the stadium? I mean, they've changed seats, this, that, everything. Is the stadium actually in a shape to host a Asian Cup qualifier? So that is my question rather. Sir, I think we must set a monthly target of increasing viewers from 30 to 50 like this to grow this channel. I don't know where this good or bad idea, but it's my opinion. You could have another idea. Shanlata, I have given up of um, how to grow. Again, the channel has slowly grown along, but again, I see that we've grown a little over 100 since the start of the year. Uh, you know, um, so to me, I do my things my way. Is it right? Is it wrong? Again, I do this in my free time, in my spare time. I enjoy doing this. Otherwise, I wouldn't do this as regularly as I do. So I try and do this. Again, and I need your support to grow this here, be it here on YouTube, be it on Insta, on Twitter, on arunfoot.com. Support it, spread it. Again, thanks a lot. Blasters fans slandering argue about selling the club if the board can't function the way they want them to be. Simon, it is easy to sell, but who's going to buy? It sounds so, you can't manage it. So, even we have the same conversation in Europe, right? That people used to say, oh, you know what, sell the club, this, that, you can't do it, right? Let the Glazers sell it. Has it become better with Jonas? Or Tottenham, has it become better after Daniel Levy left? Yes, selling is calling for this. As a football fan, your life is easy. When you manage a club, and listen to the interview that I did with Abik, right? Like, why did I ask him the first question how he's feeling? Because when I went into that interview and we had again, I've been in this position. I've been even in a tougher position because I created a club out of nothing. And if you would ask me the first 2 months of trying to create Mumbai City FC, I rarely slept properly, right? So I know under what pressure he is to keep the club, not only him, a lot of these guys, to keep the club, uh, you know, uh, these clubs alive. That's the difference. The Saudi government is providing good support to their football league, but here in India, we don't get any support from the government side. Nikhil, Saudis know what, forget football. They've done it in golf, they've done it in tennis, boxing, Formula One. For them, sports is a, um, so therefore these are realities, no? So therefore, India government and Zarawa says it, nigga, India likes cricket diplomacy, and that's a one part of the problem. This U70 is one with lesser quality. We needs to find the Constantine way of playing if we want to stand any chance for competing. Simon, I think times have changed. Even if you try and play with this team a Constantine way, my problem is um, mm, that other teams will find a way around and at least score 1 or 2 goals against you. So that, but again, Ashish said some light on the Amma issue, but didn't understand it entirely. Okay, to me there is a question. You know, that Amar Ranawale question calls for second interview with Abik. Roshan, you know what? Abik is under so much of pressure. I don't even want to get me time for that. And I don't even know if you will want to talk about it because, again, if they've done something wrong, why would he give me an interview and expose it in an interview to me? The best thing of football, I've seen any meme for any football channel that makes football in another way unique way. Yeah. So you think Dama was illegal transfer by Mohammad Supergiant? Zoravar, I don't think I have. I'm just asking a question from knowledge because there was no news post 31st. Hey, listen, we've released the players. These clubs have done it in the last few years, right? And then there's this conversation, hey, Ahmed will return next season. So why didn't they take him on loan then? Right? So is Blasters preparing for the situation of not being there next summer and saying, that we don't have a contract with Ahmed? Again, there are too many. I have questions. I'm not saying that it is illegal. I just want to prove by someone saying, you know what, actually, no, 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 we kept all the, deadlines and transfer regulations in place. Because to me, at the moment, with everything, like with everything else, it's free fall. And that concerns me, right? Get CFG on board. I will arrange talks with Sheikh Al Manzoor. Simon, if I want to get CFG on board, I can actually call them up myself. I don't, um, therefore, yeah, I can do that. I went to them in 2014. I know it's your profession, so you watch Indian football, but with this situation, why would any casual watch Indian football league almost not happening? A nation losing, national team losing to Bangladesh. RS, you know what? Indian football is not my profession. Indian football um, is a passion. Right? For me, it's not a profession. Indian football will never be able to repay me what I've done for Indian football, and I don't know it to. So I'm fine with that. But for again, the casual fan, if he understands in what situation we are in, then the casual fan will support, and that's the challenge. I follow all tweets of Abra Ghosh, Meher Sodhi, and especially yours as well as Premic India and all other Insta accounts. So never worry for social media support from my side. I'm everywhere. Shanata, yeah, but then differentiate, huh? Who are you supporting, what you're watching, and what you're believing. I think only floodlights are left to be installed in Kochi. In today's press conference, they said the LED lights have arrived. They will install before 22nd. Babalu's animation, I'm fine, but again, is everything, again, there was this thing, no, but the stadium, no, not sure. The problem of all in a club getting disbanded is more than being able to sell the club. That's how I see it. Yeah, sure. That's the reality. I mean, my problem of this thought is that if we're talking about selling, buying, whatever club, whichever club, it doesn't matter. Why would anyone, for figure X or Y, it doesn't matter. Why would I or you, if we had crores, why would I buy any of these clubs? What assets are you offering me? I don't own a stadium. I don't own my training facilities. What assets do you have? You don't even own your players. So why would I, if the current owners walk away and the current owners have in the past placed the Blasters on the market and said, guys, we're willing to sell or at least sell a partial share at least. Who has come forward? No one has bought it. John Abraham has been trying to sell something of Northeast United for the last decade. Not been able to sell it. So therefore, these are realities. It's for a fan easy to say, oh, you know what, if you can't manage it, sell it. No, you should be thankful that the owners of the Blasters have stuck around with the club, for the club, over the last 11, 12 years. For massive growth, you need collaboration, especially with YouTubers with high subscription, like Dhanraj do we talk for HD, and if possible, go to a podcast or big in YouTubers. Rather, I can't force myself onto it, right? Chuck, the interview I think is going to come out over the weekend. That's what Sagal told me, so I'm waiting for that. I cannot force myself onto that and say, "Hey, guys, you have to take me on," right? Doesn't happen that way, right? With Rock Baba, I did it. It was fun. If I'm back in India, yeah, Saudi have disposable income and no oversight. India can't do that. We can, but we won't do it. Chinta Rao is assistant coach of Kerala Blasters. C coached SC Bangalore. Interesting. Chinta back. You should also do interviews with current India squad players, especially women, those players who are playing abroad. That will be a welcome addition. Hitesh, yes, I've spoken to players, but as with everybody else, rarely do they want to speak. The probability of Indian clubs getting, yeah, we've spoken about it. Why would people talk about government funding? Why would a third world government spend money in football when millions live in and governments, even ROA is not great in terms of Olympic gold? RS, forget the Olympic gold, forget your government subsidies and all that stuff. Um, Football is a soft power. They're using cricket. Nobody cares. Yeah. I've asked my Italian friends, said, hey, listen, you create Cricket World Cup. I even spoke to the brand which is kitting the Italian team, and the guy in Germany didn't even know that they're kitting the Italian Cricket World Cup team. Need Marcus revelations back, especially for this transfer. Yeah, Simon. There are a lot of transfers to be discussed. Glazer talks of investing in RCB and IPL. Yeah, Zaravar. Let them, huh? Fans are the need of the hour in this situation. If they leave, the system doesn't collapse, but all doesn't live to stay long. Yes, and we're the Indian football fan needs to understand where he or she needs to ask questions, the right questions. The Kerala Blasters fans having a go at Abek and saying that those things about the investors, yeah, let's leave. But then you don't have a club, right? It's like East Bengal Mohun Bagan fans having a go at Imami or Sri Cement or Quest in the past or Mr. Goenka on the other side. Mr. Goenka could have, when the whole 80K Mohun Bagan thing happened, could have said, you know what, I'm no longer interested, I'm going Tata Burger. He could have done that. Who would have come? Right? So therefore, again, we shouldn't give them too much power, but you should give them, so yeah. Do you have hopes on Odisha FC's future? Will they end up the Hyderabad way? Um, Simon, at the moment, if you ask me what the status is, I think they will finish the season in some sort of form way. Um, you know, um, um, in the summer, they're one of the top candidates to shut shop, right? So therefore, I don't see that. Will Kerala see shutdown impact Kerala football considering the growth of SLK? Hypothetically, it creates more support for the state league itself. Simon, the Blasters have been the only success of Kerala club football to me. SLK is a different thing. It is much smaller in scale, cost, and size. Let's be very clear about that, right? SLK looks successful, but to me, um, you know, um, so therefore, they would create a void which no Keralite club, no Malayalam club can fill, in my opinion. Yeah. Heidi Scheunemann is technical advisor at Goan based Karuna Foundation. We can make an interview with her. Okay, Roshan. Would have to figure out Heidi Scheunemann. Where do I know the name from? Can't figure it out where I know the name from. I will try and figure out. Try and reach out to her. Right. Where are we? Where are we? Sorry. There. It's quite weird to think, but sir, how do you see a model like this? In place of clubs, there should be a two-tier league with literal state teams. Every state have a lot of sports colleges for youth setup. So, Joel, everywhere in the world, again, even though we have to develop an Indian model, I don't see states, I don't see colleges and all that stuff. We need clubs. I don't think the clubs being replaced. um, is your answer to our problems at the moment. I think we need to find those answers, even though those answers are difficult. But yeah, I think we need to find getting the right answers is difficult, and I don't know how can we get there. But that is to me not a solution. To be very honest to you, every second day we have a new cricket stadium. India recently a new cricket stadium with attached five-star hotel was inaugurated in Rajasthan. So rather nice to have, but again, all these cricket stadiums, who's going to play in them at some stage, right? So again let this is a phase, and you know who said it the other day? Was it that India has 30 international level stadiums and Australia six or something? So therefore, these are realities. You and I will not be able to change them, but yeah, we need better football infrastructure, and that to me is the challenge, right? Huge challenge, right? Good night, gute Nacht, Zoravar, TV broadcast Sony, and Fancon Mobile One. Ironic. Why is it ironic, Rahul? Explain that to me. Why do you say that it's ironic? It's good. It's very, in my opinion, it's very good that we are getting the quality of a Sony on one side and our fan code, right? We need quality, and we've not had it, and therefore that is something which is been bothering me at least, that we've not been able to get the quality that we wanted and needed, right? So therefore, that's good. Again, my concern at this moment in time. So that's the thing. So levels of Sony and Fancode, a Hyundai and an Audi. No, Namita, they will. Sorry, Rahul, they will broadcast the same thing. So it is, uh, um. So where is the, it's not in Hyundai and an Audi. The Hyundai and the Audi will be the same thing. It's like if you're gonna say, oh, you're an Audi, you're a Volkswagen, a Skoda, and theoretically it's the same car, just that the finishing in Audi looks a little better, maybe. I think Fancode will be a better product than Sony. You know, so that's the thing. So no FS. Rahul, why are we talking about FS? Why are you asking? It's a cost. No one's going to do it. This we've have you trained the refs for all of this? No, you've not done anything. So don't come with and in Europe we're having a discussion at the moment about VR. The VR, in the Premier League and Bundesliga, they're talking about getting rid of it. And 70% of football live watching fans are saying get rid of VR. So forget you are so much behind the discussion of where the rest of the world is, where they're saying get rid of it, that you want it, right? Look at in England the bizarre discussion of uh, um, um, the Szoboszlai red card and not giving the goal for Man City. The referee did everything right. But they're saying, oh, from a football perspective, let it go on and let the goal stand. Oh, if you got VR, you're going to allow, right? So why instead of VR? It's a cost, Rahul. It's a cost. Anything which is a cost will not be considered at the moment. And it's not, guys, how can it be so difficult on VR at the moment, FVS, any of these additional help for the refs? For that, you need to train someone or the other. Has that training happened? Has it been considered? And it's a cost to everybody. We're trying to talk about a league where they're trying to reduce the costs left, right, and center. This is a cost factor to the clubs, and they're not going to do it. Let me be very clear, right? We were talking last season about VR installation of what is it? 40 crores, I think, was the figure. So none of this happened. So let's remember Indians can we do some jugaad like Sasta VR. See, and then again, we've discussed jugaad today a lot. Jugaad, no, Sasta VR. VR has to be certified by FIFA. No. Can you create a free VR? Train everyone? Makes no sense. It's not like your crash course, which can be done within a day or two. Kalyan Chaube logic fails. Yeah. VR need a cut down to only validate goal line technology, every other use case like penalty and let's remove it. No, Shumit, I don't think it is. It is your offsides, your goals, even penalties or not penalties. There are a lot of things that you can use VR for in a good way. The question is, are you using it the right way? Are you using technology the right way? The problem of VR is if the referee on the field is a problem, then the guy sitting in front of the VR screen is also a problem because if he wants it or not, even if he says, I've got an objective opinion on something, it might be subjective or might you see something wrong. You know, I will go without VR. It's same with without it. So many stoppages and correct calls. Simon, in India, it would be worse. You know. So that's the thing. So one thing, referees in your country in Europe and another product, unlike Crystal John. No, it's not Rahul. See, and that is give Crystal John. And this is again, this is on you as a fan. For example, Crystal John's call, which led to BFC walking off. Crystal John was spot on. If you or other people like it or not, he was spot on. Sunil was allowed to shoot that free kick, and Adrian Luna himself, was right to do it. I didn't know say it afterwards, right? I should have just put my foot forward and not allowed Sunil to kick the ball. So therefore, give the referees a little respect. Yes, they do mistakes, but the level of mistakes happening with VR. We've had this weekend in Germany. So therefore, VR is not your answer to your problems. You're shifting the discussion of mistakes to the technology part. Giving full authority to the on-field ref is a disaster. Yeah. So Simon, there are problems, and VR, FVS, whatever you want to call it, is not part of our problem. Anything at the moment which costs you money will not be discussed. Think we need to give more time for infusion of AI and improve tech to reduce referee subjective perspective. Yes, Shumit. Exactly. That's going to be then one. I'm listening third tier German football person are talking about we are crazy. Everyone who doesn't have VR wants it, and the ones have it wanted to get rid of it. Exactly. Roshan, we'd had the same discussion in German Cup now, the first two rounds with the mistakes made, right? Because we had also high profile Bundesliga matches. So there you said, oh, you know what? We should have the VR from the round one. Now here, you see it in the Bundesliga every week. They want to get rid of it, right? And did AIFF fan code manage to talisman so I said any marketing will be done by Sony? So what the job of fan code was never to get a title sponsor. And AIFF even did not even um, even put out a commercial thing, and marketing done by Sony, I don't know. So did Sony do marketing for the I League last season? I didn't see any. Even if Crystal Dawn was wrong or right, no reason for walk off if you're even wanting to Pape Thiaw. Yeah, Roshan, very right. Colina has some plans to alter the rule books ahead of the World Cup. No, I don't. Not in front of the World Cup. Let's wait and see. So what's the news? And Mohammed reserves are going to Australia. There's a player, Rahul, who's gone there, third division Australia. I wish the boy, I forgot even the name. I wish him all the best. If he makes it, great. If he doesn't, another boy who's gone into oblivion abroad, right? And he most probably will go and study in Australia. Every time an on-field referee goes to CVR replay, he'll 100% change his decision. It's like a formality. It's like extra pressure. Like he can't say, I still believe in my original decision. No, RS. When he goes to the VR screen, and not always, I don't even know. I wouldn't be able to tell you the number. Ref mistake is a problem even in European leagues, and its users debate over it. Yeah. But sir, your nation, unlike RF, isn't poor. But now, Rahul, it has nothing to do with poor. Is India poor? India is spending too much money on football. So for me, it's not about rich or poor. The referees, the German referees, the English referees are the worst that I've seen them ever at the moment, right? And the Indian referees, with all the problems I've seen in the past, actually better than they were 15, 20 years ago. The one thing that has improved actually are the referees in Indian football. But again, because they do the mistakes and the mistakes are taken out of context and sometimes they don't even do mistakes. But then, East Bengal fans. East Bengal fans see mistakes in referees where they're not even mistakes. So, yeah. Vian Murgod. Yeah, Vian Murgod. Exactly. That's the boy who's gone to Australia. I wish him all the best. I hope he succeeds. But I have no expectation from him, X, Y, Z. Let the boys play. And if he succeeds, great. Good night, sir. Good chatting. Yeah, it's 2 hours, 7 minutes. It's no need to come to an end, guys. Again, covered a lot of ground once more today on this live. If you liked it, leave a like behind. Share it with other people to join our honest conversations on Indian football. And if you haven't, please subscribe, become part. 33 likes today. Thank you so, so much. But yeah, we need to grow the community. And the ISL starts in less than 3 days. I'm looking forward. And yeah, let's see. Tomorrow, very important day, AIFF Exco meeting. Churchill in, Churchill out. Churchill in, who knows? So therefore, it's a crazy one. Really, offside mistakes, especially, are crazy. Yeah, they are, yes, but it's human. It's human. And the match stays be like previous season. Like, what can we expect? So what? Expect nothing. I've said this today multiple times. Expect nothing from the broadcast. Expect nothing from the matches. Expect nothing of quality. If you're a football fan, you've got a club in your city. Go to the matches. Support Indian football. Because if you miss this opportunity as an Indian football fan to support the ISL, to support the clubs, to support the teams, to support the players, there might not be an ISL in the summer. Let's be very clear. Rahul, we've got too many problems. Nobody cares about that match at the moment. Digital billboards, I don't think so. I don't see that being there in the place. Right, with that, I'll come to an end. Once again, like, share, and subscribe. Arunfoot here on YouTube. Visit my other social medias. Visit arunfoot.com. I'll be back tomorrow night with another live. The ISL countdown. See you then. Bye.